Hi! In this video, we're going to talk about what staff observations are, the equipment you need, and how to do them. Let's begin. Staff observations, or also called staff obs or staff shots, are used to calculate the elevation of the sensor above a vertical datum and to do a quality control check of the data. Ideally, staff shots are done over the full duration of the tide, gathering a total of 3 hours worth of data. During staff shots, 3 types of measurements are made: the backsight, foresight, and water on rod. Typical NOAA tide gauges measure every 6 minutes, but not all tide gauges are the same. Make sure you know the frequency your tide gauge measures at, because that will be the frequency of your foresight measurements. Now, let's talk about the equipment you'll need for doing staff shots. First on the packing list is a tripod. This will keep the level stable in between shots. Next on the list is a rod. Depending on the terrain, your rod may need to be pretty tall. This rod can extend up to 4 meters long. Next is a stilling well. This will make reading the water level on the rod much easier in the rough ocean waves. Don't forget electrical tape to attach the stilling well to your rod. You'll also need a level to take backsight and foresight measurements, and gear to make a temporary benchmark, or TBM. This can be a stake with a hammer, a turtle, or anything that will keep a consistent elevation. For this case, we'll use a turtle. You'll also want a handheld bubble to help hold the rod perfectly straight up and down. Bring warm clothes to protect yourself from the cold, wind, and rain. You'll be outside for 3 hours, so be prepared. Here, I've got waterproof bibs, but if you have chest waders or a dry suit, they'll work much better against the waves. Don't forget to wear warm pants underneath. These boots are the bare minimum with this setup. Knee-high boots are even better. Wool socks, hat, gloves, and your surveyor's vest complete the look. Make sure you've got a field book and a pen to take notes and record measurements, and something to keep track of the time. Staff shots must be taken every 6 minutes, so set your alarm. Lastly, staff shots are easier with 2 people, so grab a friend. For this TBM, grab a turtle and stomp it into the ground. Until staff shots are finished, it's not allowed to move. Then, set up your tripod between the TBM and the ocean. It's easiest to set 2 legs first, level the plate with the horizon, and then set the 3rd leg. Walk around the tripod and push each of the feet into the ground, making sure they're solid and secure. Apply this force in the direction of the legs to avoid damaging them. Take out your level and carefully place it on the tripod, keeping a hand on it at all times. Tighten it to the plate with the screw located underneath the plate. The level must be calibrated so that the bubble is within the circle. Use the 3 adjusting screws. A clockwise turn makes that side go up, while counterclockwise makes it go down. Lay out your field book like this, with columns for the date, local or UTC time. Make sure to specify which one you choose. Benchmark, backsight, rod reading, water on rod, and station datum water elevation. Go ahead and start filling in what you can. The benchmark is what you're about to backsight. It's good practice to also write your book's page number, the project number, the date, and both of your initials at the top of the page. Now, extend the rod and make sure the pin snaps into place, indicating the rod is fully extended. When placing the rod on the benchmark, make sure there's no grip under the rod or on top of the mark. Use the handheld bubble to help hold the rod straight. Keep that bubble in the circle and face the rod towards the tripod. When holding the rod, make sure your fingers aren't blocking any numbers. Use the larger knob by the mirror to focus the scope. The smaller knobs move the crosshairs left and right, and the knob on the eyepiece focuses the crosshairs. Look through the eyepiece and let's take a backside. There are 3 stadia. Use the middle one to read the backside to the nearest millimeter. With the backside done, let's prep for the foresight. When securing the bottom of the stilling well to your rod, make sure not to cover this hole, otherwise it won't work. Secure the top as well. Electrical tape will hold well when wet, making it a good choice for this. The rod person should now proceed to the ocean and get the rod settled into a stable position so it won't move. Take the water on rod reading and tell the tripod person what you read so they can write it down in the field book. The pink ball in the stilling well indicates where the measurement should be taken. In this case, it's 0.160 meters. Look through the level at the rod and write down your foresight, which is also called the rod reading. The rod person can now return to dry land until the next rod reading. Set your timer so your next rod reading lines up with when your tide gauge takes its next measurement. We've got some time, so I'm going to show you how to calculate the station datum water elevation. Begin with the temporary benchmark's elevation, which in this case is 10 meters above station datum. Add the backside, subtract the foresight or rod reading, and finally add the water on rod measurement. And now you've got elevation of the water referenced to the station's datum. It's important to do this calculation as you go, since it can help you catch mistakes early on. Looks like time's running out. Both of you should get in position for the next staff observation. Just like last time, begin with reading the water on rod and make note of the time in your field book. I'm getting 0.217 meters for this. Then take your foresight, or the rod reading. Write that down. Finish that row by calculating the station datum water elevation. You're getting the hang of this! Every few readings, check your backside again and write down what you read. This helps eliminate errors by taking into account any movement of the tripod. Check the levels bubble while you're at it. It should still be within the circle. Hey, congrats! In the last few minutes, we've covered what staff observations are, we recommended equipment, and we've walked through the process of how to take them. Now, go forth and conduct your own staff observations. You've got this.